My name is Candace and I work as a police officer. I have two special duties as well. I'm a field training officer and I'm a SWAT operator on the SWAT team. A typical day for me is usually on patrol, either with or without a trainee, and I work the streets. I patrol a certain beat area, I answer calls on my beat, and I do proactive police work. SWAT, as far as a typical day, there really isn't one. I'm on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's a part-time deal for me because I work for a rather small city. If you work for a larger city, SWAT could be a more full-time job, but for a city like mine, it's a part-time position and we're on call. Some of the requirements for SWAT, and SWAT stands for Special Weapons and Tactics. Some of the requirements for it are it's a position that you're not just handed, everywhere you go you're going to have a tryout to make it. It requires a little bit of extra physical skill, a little bit of knowledge of tactics, and some skill with the gun initially. And the nice thing about it is that it helps you along with your training and helps you to be a better police officer in the long run because you're learning so much more of the tactical side of things. You get to play with all the different kinds of weapons, you get to mess around with the OC gas and the CS gas and all kind of cool toys. So an untypical day when we get a call out, we'll go out there. I'm on the perimeter team. We've got two different teams. There's a perimeter team and an entry team. If you're on the entry team, it's exactly what it sounds like. You're making entry into the house after the perimeter team secures the outside of it. When we secure the scene, we get there. A SWAT call out could take anywhere from 30 minutes, an hour, to 12, 13, 14 hours. You never know how long you're going to be out there when you get called. It all depends on the situation. Okay, for example, a call out we had the other day, we had a guy who was supposed to be a little crazy. He had a knife and was up on a roof, said he was going to kill himself. When patrol officers arrived on scene, he jumps off the roof and, long story short, he barricades himself in the attic with a pistol. Another agency SWAT team arrived on scene and tried to secure it. He fires off a couple rounds through the ceiling. He's up in the attic and they end up securing the bottom of the house. The entry team secures the bottom of the house. The perimeter team comes in on the outside just to try to make sure that nothing's going to happen, and they're kind of at a standoff. So part of the way they try to get him out is using gas, CS gas or tear gas, and we've got it in canisters that you can load into. It's a grenade launcher, and you can load up to 8 canisters in it and fire it through it. They fired it through the ceiling. And when it goes through the ceiling, the canister opens up, it lets the gas out, and it's supposed to make people come out. Well, I guess this guy was pretty tough because he didn't come out. He was up there, I think their team was out there for almost 12 hours. After 12 hours, their hostage negotiators are not being able to negotiate with him anymore. He's not talking to them, so they end up calling us to relieve him. So we get the call out. I think we ended up showing up about 1:30 in the morning. So got dragged out of bed, get called up out there, we get suited up, and we've got full vests that we put on, bulletproof vests they got the plates in the front, they got plates in the back, they even got the bulletproof vest material that goes down over your arms. When I suit up, I got the Kevlar helmet that goes on like you see in the military in the movies, and I carry an AR-15 with Seymour sight on it. You can look through the sight and there's a red dot on it. It helps you with your long distance shooting. And carry my handgun on my side as well. So I deployed as part of the perimeter team. We took the place of county SWAT team and we were going to try the whole gas thing again because it should work. CS gas, tear gas, what it does is it messes up with it makes you cry, makes snot pour out of your nose, makes some people throw up. You can feel it on your skin, it burns your skin. The OC that they sprayed on him with the pepper spray and the fire extinguisher that they sprayed in his face does the same thing, makes you cry, it's pain. Any normal person would have come out. So we decided we're going to try that one more time and make another tactical plan for if that doesn't work. We closed off all the attic vents, took blankets, put them up around the outside, tried to make sure that the gas that we're going to put up there doesn't escape, and I think we shot 6 more canisters up there in the attic with him, with our grenade launcher. Some of them, you shoot them up there through the ceiling and the canister keeps going and goes through the roof and the gas stays in there with the suspect, but he still wouldn't come out. We had a little video camera it's kind of like a video camera you can put on a stick, that we put up through a hole that we'd shot through the attic floor to see what he was doing, so we could kind of keep an eye on him while we were making another plan. We have it's hard to describe, but it's like kind of like a pole saw, and you can saw sheetrock with it. So we took that out and went into the house and started, we could watch him on video camera and see where his hands were and make sure he couldn't do anything to harm us. We sawed through some of the sheetrock in the attic ceiling, took the ceiling down so we could see him. We could keep an eye on him and cover him with our guns to make sure he wasn't going to do anything to try to shoot back at us, because obviously he's got a gun up there as well, and he's a little out of it and doesn't seem to mind hurting himself, so he's definitely not going to mind hurting somebody else. So we take the ceiling down. We ended up putting 2 of our guys up through the ceiling, lifting them up and hoisting them up through the ceiling, one of them with a taser, and we shot the guy with the taser, and the taser is like what I carry here on my belt. It's a 21-foot range, and it's the electrical probes. It shoots out like a number 8 fish hook, 2 of them. Once they stick into you, it immobilizes you. The electrical current immobilizes you. We shoot him with the taser, hoisted 2 guys through the ceiling, and we were able to take him into custody. He had the pistol laying up under his thigh. We were able to do everything in a way that he couldn't get to it. So that call out there took about 8 hours for us after county had been there for almost 12. We get a lot of extra training on SWAT. Our department requires us to go to training once a month. It's a full day of training. It counts towards a day of work for us, and we get normally about a week of training every year where we go off somewhere else and either do training or go to a competition. Some of the requirements to be on the team for our department, and I'm not sure if this applies to all departments, but we had to be a police officer for at least 2 years of experience on the street before you can even apply to be on the team. I'm sure that varies from department to department. Once you've got your 2 years on, if that's something that you want to pursue, we have a tryout process that you have to go through in order to make it. Ours included a physical agilities course. They want to make sure that you're physically able to handle the extra pressures of the job. You also had to prove that you could shoot and prove that you could handle yourself under pressure. So it was an obstacle course, shooting course, and an interview in front of ours was an interview in front of the entire SWAT team, and everybody graded you on how you did in that interview. Education that would help out as far as being able to make the team. Really a college degree, yes, I mean it helps you as a police officer, but it wasn't necessary. What helped me out, I think, was the military, and probably over half our team is military, having a background. I mean, it's the special weapons and tactics teams. Anything that you have, any type of training that you have in a tactical situation or knowing how to use several different kind of weapons. I mean, we use MP5s, we use AR-15s, we use Glocks. We have to be able to shoot just about anything. So you have to have a little bit of knowledge about guns. Any type of skills in tactics, any training that you've taken as a police officer. There are so many tactical schools that you can go to just as a police officer and learn about how to handle room entries, how to do building clearances. Anything like that will definitely help you. They're looking for somebody who's very dedicated to the job. Okay, you're dedicated to your job as a police officer, so you're going to be dedicated to your job as a SWAT operator. You've got to be able to be a team player. You've got to be able to work and think as a member of a unit. You're not just there for yourself, you're there to help out your team. You have to be able to make split-second decisions under pressure, because you may have to make a decision that could cost somebody their life or that could save somebody's life. And you've got to be able to know that you can make that decision quickly without thinking about it. You've got to be able to work under pressure. The best part of my job, well, that's pretty obvious, is it's exciting. It's something that if you have the personality for it, that you're going to enjoy. It's an adrenaline rush. It's the stuff that you see on TV. I'm sure you watch the Dallas SWAT show or what. It's what you see. You get to kick in the doors. You get to go get the bad guy. You get to do all the exciting things that people think of when they think of being a police officer, when they think of doing police work. You also get the extra training that is going to help you be a better police officer on the streets, because you're going to be better with your tactics. You're going to be more tactically sound. You're going to be able to handle yourself better and not only take care of yourself better, but you're going to be able to help people, some of your other fellow police officers, with teaching them with some of the stuff that you've learned. You have a whole lot more knowledge of weapons, and if you like shooting guns, it's fun because you get a lot of experience shooting all different kind of guns. We have access to so much more than you get as a regular police officer. Our training out of town, you learn how other departments handle things. That's stuff that you wouldn't get to do as a patrol officer. So I like the excitement of it. The worst part of the job is being on call 24/7. I worked that last call out I was telling you about. You know, I worked my job before that. I worked 13 hours that day. I went home and was getting ready to go to bed that night when I got the call that we were possibly going to be needed. At 1:30 in the morning, I go out there, work for 8 hours, and by the time I get home, I've been up for 30 hours straight. It makes things difficult on a family life because it's sometimes difficult for your family to understand that, hey, I've got to have this phone with me 24/7. I've got to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. I've got to be around so that if they call me and if they need me, I can have all my stuff together and have it all put on and ready to go at a moment's notice. That's difficult on a family life. As far as final advice, you've got to be a team player. You've got to be able to work well with others. You've also got to be dedicated. We've got to have that little bit of extra dedication to our jobs that we're willing to be on call all the time. You've got to be willing to go the extra mile as far as educational opportunities, as far as training. I take extra training that's offered to me in weapons and tactics so that I can better myself as an operator. So it's just about going the extra mile and being able to work as part of a team. You want to stay in as good a physical condition as you possibly can, because it is a physically demanding job, and in order to even make it on the team, like I said before, you've definitely got to have some type of physical ability.